Hello and welcome to a wet autumn day, the perfect time to plant some crocuses. Well, you may recall that 2 years ago I planted my first crocus lawn, which is here behind me, and I've been so encouraged at how well it's done. The crocuses, they pop up every February or March. They look absolutely amazing in the garden at a very dark and dreary time of year, just brightening things up, and they just make me smile so much. And I'm determined to extend that process to get even more smiles. So today I'm going to plant some more crocuses in my lawn, and the first time round I was a little bit apprehensive. I played it on the safe side. I took the Crocus thomasinianus, which is the one that is recommended as the easiest to come back and to flower well. So I planted just that. But now, given the success over 2 years, I'm a little bit braver, and I'm going to extend that display with 3 more beautiful colours. Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden in Ireland, and if you're new here, you're very welcome to the channel. Now, I garden in what roughly equates to as Zone 9. We don't have that system here in Ireland, but take Zone 9 as an indication of what I might or might not get through the winter. And today I'm planting or extending my crocus lawn. Well, I went to a gardening talk during the year, and when I was there, I got a recommendation for 3 glorious crocus bulbs that make gorgeous companion plants. That is, that they look gorgeous together. And they are Pickwick, which is very pale, with pale kind of mauve or lilac stripes. Then there's Flower Record, which is a darker purple, and those two together look amazing. And then finally there is the pure white Jeanne d'Arc or Joan of Arc. And these, wow, fantastic. Knowing which crocuses I wanted, I then had to source them, and my shop of choice is Bulbi. Now, Bulbi I've bought from on many occasions in the past. They're in the Netherlands, and they ship to both the UK and the EU, so it's a different site depending on where you want your bulbs to be shipped. And the thing about Bulbi is they have gorgeous, healthy bulbs, really excellent customer service, and they ship really quickly. So you can choose when you buy when you want your bulbs to ship, so that they arrive when you're ready to plant them in your garden. And the price, excellent price. In any comparison with other sites, I've always found that Bulbi come out on top in terms of value for money. So if you do want to buy some bulbs from Bulbi, whether they're crocuses or otherwise, do check out the discount code and the websites in the description below. And the discount code that I'm offering today is Douentza10, which will give you 10% off all your purchases up until the 1st of December. Crocuses are best planted in the lawn in autumn, where they'll flower in either February or March. Choose an open, sunny area, preferably under deciduous trees. And don't choose somewhere where you have a lush lawn. You want a neglected lawn, which tends to come about naturally under deciduous trees because the lawn is competing with the roots of the tree. Now, this doesn't look open and sunny at the moment, but you have to remember that these bulbs will flower in February and March when the leaves on the tree are not here and plenty of sunlight will hit the grass below. Remember too that you're going to have an area of messy grass until the crocus leaves fade. You can't mow until they've yellowed and faded away, otherwise you'll kill your crocuses. So first up, I'm going to empty the bulbs into this trug here. There goes Joan of Arc. And the idea here is to mix them up because I don't want definite stripes of one colour. I want a more naturalistic look. Even if I did want definite stripes of one colour, it wouldn't really last. When these crocuses start seeding about and spreading, then they'd wreak havoc with my straight lines. So here we're just mixing everything around so that they will fall willy-nilly and even I won't know which is which. Now I'm going to take great handfuls of these bulbs and just scatter them on the grass. Now I'm not doing this at a great height as we did with the daffodils, because these are very small bulbs and I don't want them kind of bouncing everywhere and me running around like an idiot trying to find them. There we go.
Let's go.
So as you can see, I've scattered my crocus bulbs underneath a large weeping birch tree, underneath a cherry blossom tree, and they extend over as far as a conifer. Now planting under evergreen trees isn't really recommended, so the lower branches have been removed, so these will get plenty of light. Now you may recall that the crocuses I planted 2 years ago were in this spot here, over near the border and at the edge of the cherry blossom tree. So I'm doing my best not to plant new crocuses on top of the old. And that, as they say, is the easy bit. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is to put on my glasses to see what's what. And I am going to try to plant these using a hori-hori. There are various ways you can do it, and you'll recall in my last videos on planting the original crocus lawn, I used the H method, as you say in other countries, which is to cut a capital H in the lawn and then peel back the grass, put the bulbs in and then place the grass back on top. However, it was a little bit tricky and I found it tough going. So I've opted to make individual holes this time round. If you have, like, say, a metal stick or something, you could do it that way, but I'm going to use the hori-hori. I've had a little experiment so far and it seems to be okay. But we'll see, because 1,500 bulbs are here waiting to be planted in. And that is a hell of a job. Whereas if you do the other method where you cut out the H and lift back the flaps, I think I got about 200 bulbs, or at least 150 bulbs in each set of flaps. So it's more work, but you get finished quicker. So anyway, we'll see how it goes, and I may need some help as this goes on. But yeah, before we go, how deep are we going to plant these crocuses? And 3 times the height of the bulb. So let's see what that looks like. My bulbs vary in height. We've got the little teeny tiny ones like this. So they are not going to go very deep at all, up to about here on the hori-hori. And then we have much bigger hybrids, and these will need to go deeper, so dig a bit deeper. Of course we're planting with the pointy side up and the basal plate down. Right, let's go. Just 1,500 holes to do. So I'm going to start here just to kind of try my best to keep track on where I've done and where I haven't done, and I really wish I'd mowed up those leaves beforehand. And just a little tip, if you're doing this yourselves, maybe mow the grass beforehand to remove all the dead leaves, or rake them up, because as the crocus bulbs fall, I suddenly realised that they look very similar to the fallen leaves. So with someone who has bad eyesight like myself, actually planting the right thing is, well, it's going to be a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. Now you will notice that a lot of these bulbs have been placed too close together. You need a minimum of 2 inches, that's 4 centimeters between bulbs. And for the large Dutch hybrids, some of these are much meatier than others, then they do need more space. So as I plant, I'm going to just spread these out a little bit better and make sure that they're not bumping up against each other. So I'm making a hole. I'm not actually going to dig it out, but just kind of opening the grass and pop the bulb down. Okay, well that's 1,498 left to go. And today I'm lucky enough to have Nicolas from France helping me to plant these bulbs. If planting so many bulbs, some people may prefer to use the method where you lift the flap of grass and put the bulbs underneath, because you get a lot more down in one go than you do by digging individual holes. Now traditionally you're told to dig a H and to open the two flaps, and if you don't know what this means, then I'll link you at the very end to the video I made where I did this method on my first pass at making a crocus lawn. Now, as digging a H makes no sense here with scattered bulbs in kind of random patterns, you could alternatively kind of just like lift flaps of semicircles, something like that. Anyway, if you want to try it, do try it. This job can alternatively be done with an auger attached to a drill. Unfortunately, the auger I have is too thick, and the result is that you make a giant hole and you've no earth to put back in on top of the bulbs, so you just use masses and masses of compost, with the result that because the bulbs are quite close together, you'd end up removing all the grass over a large space, and I don't want that. The rain came down a bit heavy in the end yesterday, so we decided to call it a day and to go indoors. So I covered up the remaining crocus bulbs with this tarpaulin. Now this is just to stop the birds pecking them away. The birds would hardly go out in the pouring rain. However, I'm taking good precautions because of stories I've heard from fellow gardeners of birds pecking up crocus bulbs. So there we are, job is done, and I'm absolutely delighted that all of those 1,500 crocuses are in the ground. They are going to look amazing in spring with their pale purple stripes, with their dark purple flowers, and with their pure white flowers popping up here, there and everywhere in a bejeweled, fantastic, glorious spring effect. So I guess just a few words on aftercare, that of course these bulbs must be left intact after they finish flowering. Don't cut the foliage back, let it die back naturally. Also, don't fertilise your lawn, don't aerate your lawn, and don't place any weed killer. Obviously as well, you're not going to deadhead your crocuses. It would be a terrible fiddly job, but don't do it anyway, because you want them to produce seed that's going to scatter around, just making more and more and more crocuses as the years go on. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I want to give a big thank you to Nicolas for helping me carry out this job, and well, it was a little bit challenging, but today when we came out to finish off the job and it wasn't raining, it just went so much quicker. I also want to remind you that Bulbi in the Netherlands are offering 10% discount with the code Douentza10 to anyone who purchases from their website up until the 1st of December. So you can find the links in the description down below. The one that is for shipping to the UK and the one that's for shipping within the EU. I hope perhaps you'll try your own crocus lawn. It is such a worthwhile thing, and after seeing mine do so well over the last 2 years, I'm so encouraged and so looking forward to seeing them pop up again next spring. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!